Do you think that the UK education system, do you think that it's set up to help all kids? Do you feel that it's for everyone? Do you think that, what do you think about it? Having both experiences and also wanting to have been an engineer and going to a private school, do you feel, going to a public school?
Yeah.
Do you feel that it's easy to get where you needed to get to with the education? With the UK education?
I think obviously the way education is set up is you're set up to kind of become an employee. So you're being taught stuff. And I feel like obviously kind of going from even like secondary school to like college or sixth form, should I say, and then kind of university is kind of a game of memorizing stuff. Like you just, like in maths, like we used to have some questions like 3 pages long and it became like a memorizing exercise of how the process looks like when you're kind of working that down. So you kind of just know that there's this thing that you got to get to this point and you're like, okay, cool, I'm on the right track. I've got to get to this point and I'm there. And the answer looks like this. And you kind of know for sure you got to answer right. So it became more of a memorizing game, but like it's there to set you up to, like I said, become an employee. And I think that's just everywhere in general. I don't care whether it's private, public, what you're being taught, it's setting you up to become an employee ultimately, because you're not being taught life skills, you're not being taught about running businesses and stuff.
I remember off camera you said once about if and when you have kids, you would have them in school until a certain age.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
So I don't know. I just don't believe in the schooling system anymore. Obviously, I've been through it. Not to say I don't like. I'm not. For me, I just personally feel like what my kids are going to be exposed to, it'll be hard for them to. It'll be hard for me to see them go through the educational system because one, like you're taking your kids to this environment whereby everyone's working to become or going through this education to become an employee. My kids aren't going to become employees, and I don't think it's even something I want for them. It's just naturally when they see me and what they're exposed to being around me, being in business, seeing the level of money I make, they're not going to see themselves going through education system that only has only potential to be an X, which is way lower than what I'm making a day even for a whole year. So like, why would they even aspire to see that as an environment to be in?
And so then what's the alternative? If school's not the alternative, if school's not the thing, what's the alternative?
Don't get me wrong. So they all go through the schooling system. I think up to the age of 8, I think they've kind of learned English, the basics of maths. Like for me, money maths is all multiplication, addition, subtraction. That is money maths to me. So I don't need to know anything advanced past that. Unless of course they have aspirations to become like a doctor. Like these are things you have to go through education system, unfortunately. But if it's anything outside of that, then I'm like, what's the point? So for me, there will be homeschooling for sure.
And is homeschooling hiring a teacher?
Yeah. So,
but you kind of have a lot more input.
I'm going to direct them on what I want. So I'm going to select who I believe is going to be able to help with my kids' education in certain areas. So for me, that's what I'm going to direct them on. So it's like, obviously I'm selecting who's coming to teach them. So whatever syllabus they're going through is my decision and I'm paying them to do that job. So I just feel like there's certain areas they need to focus on more. Like I want them to become great at public speaking, for example. We don't get taught that in school.
Exactly. Top
tier skill to have, to be able to have confidence in a room, and like I want my kids 10 years old to be able to get on stage in front of 300, 400 people and literally speak like this 2 people in the room, or they're speaking to themselves. And you're not going to get that from an environment from private school or whatever, public school. You're not. And people might argue, but you're robbing your kids off the social experiences. I'm like, listen, those social experiences are great and they obviously shape you. But ultimately, there's a lot of stuff that, again, I want to protect my kids from. And just like, I grew up in an environment where like stuff happens all the time, London crime, gang fights, being in gangs, all this stuff, drugs, all these things. Again, where did these happen? When you let your kids go and spend time with other people and they pick up these habits, which necessarily you haven't taught them, but kids will pick up on things that they see around them and habits that they're seeing from other friends. So I'm not trying to be controlling, but ultimately I guess I want to give them the best chance in life as possible. So it's kind of steering them as much as I can.